come back in a game as they did a couple of weeks ago in double overtime against Arkansas. As a marker comes in, and we'll hear from Michael Vandervelde, our referee.
Snap infraction, number 44, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
You know, there's some of these games we do, Jason, especially early in September, where you don't really know your team. But Mike Gundy, Kyle Whittingham, you kind of knew this game in April. You didn't maybe know all of the faces and who would be there, but stylistically, there's not a lot of surprises in this one.
Wes Paul to punt. He's their boomer punter. They use 2. Micah Pittman on the return. And he'll get them just short of midfield, maybe to midfield as he crashes forward. Just a net of 30, and so here we go. It is Isaac Wilson coming out for his 2nd start. What did you see on tape last week?
You saw a guy get more comfortable by far, especially after the first quarter. We saw him when he came in the game against Baylor, and everything was moving very fast. He is a gunslinger. He threw for over 5,000 yards a season ago. He's got great courage and conviction, Jason, to throw it. But today, they too are going to have to be balanced. Get the run, get the play pass, and try to slow down a very fast front.
They are 7th in the country in time of possession because of a battering run game, and they'll use it on 1st down. A sidestep from Mekhi Bernard, and he dives to the 40-yard line, a gain of 11. This offensive line has a lot of experience as well. The center Kump has started everywhere on the offensive line.
Yeah, and you know that I love Mokofisi, one of just the most energetic offensive linemen you will find, the right guard, 52 in all of college football. 6 tight ends, not an exaggeration, 6 tight ends will play today. Keithy, the best of the bunch, also a 7th-year veteran for the Utes.
8 catches so far for Keithy, 3 touchdowns in their opener. Bernard, the tailback, again chooses the 2nd door and scores a nice run again. That's 8 on 1st down. The Oklahoma State defense has been gashed a little bit in that Arkansas game, but they got better.
They have. They missed Colin Oliver. There's no question. Ezigbo fills in for him, but he was such a dynamic difference maker. Some size up front. Nick Martin never stops. I mean, he just never, ever, ever stops. And they've got to keep him clean so he can make tackles. And number 1 in America is Trey Rucker on the back end. Nobody cleans up the pile better than Trey Rucker. They try to keep him free to finish tackles. He doesn't miss many.
2nd down, 1st throw for Wilson. He wants the sideline and a battle Brant Keithy, and it's incomplete. That's Rucker on the coverage, and Keithy is down at the 2-yard line, and that's one of the last things Utah would want to see.
He is going full speed, Jason, in that head and shoulder just slam as he's backpedaling, trying to adjust to that inside fade ball. And you can see the full force as he just loses his balance is right on that shoulder. That elbow shoulder, and he reaches for it immediately.
Brant Keithy's dealt with so much injury-wise. Year number 7 for him. He was down, 3rd down when we come back.
Player shaken out for Utah, number 80, Brant Keithy. At the camera for our Gateway Junior Captain.
Hey Cowboy Games, I'm here with Max, and they are Gateway and Green Country Habitat for Humanity Junior Captain of the game. Matt got to join our team captains on the field for the coin.
Fox College football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renters Insurance. When we spent time with Brant Kuithe a couple weeks ago in advance of the Baylor game, he told us all that he had to learn how to walk again and run again and do all these football activities again. He is up off the field, but man, the luck and the fortune of that young man has been really rough.
Yeah, like a lot of these youths, he has just grinded through. There's a reason that he's been here 7 years, multiple years with injuries to overcome, and a great sign to see him up and away from the trainers.
Will have to be out for at least this play as Mike Mitchell is checked in 3rd and 2. They will run it, and he's going to get stonewalled. Nick Martin, you said he's violent. He's a big-time tackler, and Oklahoma State's crazy linebacker made the stop.
Yeah, he's one of those rare guys on tape that just does not stop. I mean, he sees it, and then he pulls the trigger, and just watch his feet. They just don't stop the entire way. I'm going to fight, I'm going to fight, I'm going to fight, and then I'm going to finish you. The leading tackler a season ago.
Utah's going for this. Kuithe is back out onto the field one play later. Fourth and 2. Fake it to Mitchell. Throw from Wilson. Incomplete. Lyric Rawls came over to knock it away, and Oklahoma State holds the line. He wanted Kuithe.
Yeah, there was just nowhere to go. That was incredible discipline. A defense that has struggled a little bit in this building at times with that, Jason, but not on that 4th down, covered everybody up.
You said toughness off the top. We've seen a bunch of it already. 3 and out, then a 4th down stop. Here we go, the Big 12 opener, scoreless. Brock, back to the 4th down play.
Well, Nick Martin, not just a tackler. Watch him on this play communicate pre-snap. You see that? That little subtle movement right there. He's pointing and knowing where it's going. And then when Isaac Wilson comes out, look, there is nobody. He's covered. He's covered in the flat. Nowhere to go.
Nick Martin told us no secrets on defense. We have to over-communicate, and they did right there. Ollie Gordon gets himself a gain of 4, maybe 5. 2nd down coming up. It's the offense this year. Okay, what are you watching from Gordon today?
That right there, that 5-yard run, foot in the ground, and go hit somebody.
Bowman, quick set, got it over the middle. Wide open, Owens breaking tackles into plus territory, gain of 25.
Oh man, he is so good, and this offense is so good at that RPO. You want to run it, just suck those linebackers up, and then Bowman gets rid of that thing as fast as anybody in college football.
Ollie Gordon driving toward the hole. Look, Mike Gundy said his feet just cannot stop. Hit the crease when it's there.
Did you hear that?
What's that?
Did you hear the crowd react to that run right there? Because for the last 2 weeks, you've not seen many of those.
2nd down 3. Bowman, quick release again, wants a sideline ball, and that is overthrown, incomplete for Owens. 3rd down and 3. Mike Gundy said, hey, we've been throwing the ball so much because of the loaded box. I think we lost a little bit of that physicality.
Yeah, I think that's what he just is telling when he covers his mouth. Casey Dunn, let's be physical, please. When he gets out of his seat, as he did yesterday in our production meeting, and starts showing how a running back is supposed to run, that was a highlight for me.
And that might be why they have the Wildcat situation. Presley is back there along with Ollie Gordon. Utah gets a clean look because of the substitution on 3rd down and 3. They will ride the mesh, give it to Presley. It's a 1st down as he broke tackles all the way down to the 21. A new look and a twist for Oklahoma State.
And just when I go about telling you, right, that you kind of know what they're going to do, they throw something they've not thrown this entire month. Welcome to conference play in a top 15 matchup.
Very inventive for Casey Dunn. Spit it out wide. Presley once again. Oh, what a shimmy down to the 10-yard line. Smith Snowden went to dance class.
And somehow, some way, got a shoelace to bring Presley down. All 3 touchdowns of his in the red zone. 3rd downs in red zone. Make sure you look for the difference maker, Mr. Presley. He's been doing it for 4 years.
6 catches this year in the red zone already. 2nd in the FBS. He is off for this play. And there's a substitution again. Peppa comes out for Utah to give him a moment. They'll snap Gordon out wide in the trips of that formation. Bowman throws it that direction, and Utah is all over it. Alakai Gilman snuffed it out.
Yeah, that's just too far. Hey, I get it, you know, on these little spit outs, right? It's like, wow, it's like a toss sweep. Well, that ball has to carry so far, and an excellent job by their Utes defenders to beat that block at the point of attack and to create a loss. Morgan Scalley's like, that's just how we did it this week. At practice, you want to go throw those quick screens. You want to throw it to the perimeter. You've got to defeat the block right away, and you got to rally.
2nd down throw. That's high but caught. It's Freeman, the transfer from Oklahoma. Gavin Freeman to set up a 3rd down. What a clever game plan so far for Oklahoma State, getting the ball to the perimeter.
How long is the ball in his hands?
Not long. Don't blink.
Nope, defensive ends put their hands on their hips. DBs are like, oh my gosh, this thing is coming out lightning quick. About 2.2 seconds. 8th in college football, and it's even faster today.
Presley is back on. He is the wide receiver split out top. Big red zone target for Oklahoma State on 3rd and 5. Gordon goes wide. Bowman this side on a lob. Incomplete for Stribling. And Utah gets the stop, 4th down.
Pretty good coverage here. When you're running that corner route, you see this concept a lot. You're just trying as a quarterback to throw it to the back pylon, but Stribling, you saw that he kind of was looking over one shoulder. The minute he's got to flip to the other one becomes a very high degree of difficulty.
Utah has the 2nd best completion percentage defense in all of college football. Only Notre Dame is better, and Bowman is right around 50% to open the game. Logan Ward for the lead for Oklahoma State.
Oh, they play fast.
You all right, bud? It's going to be a fun one. Twenty-year head coaches, Mike Gundy, Kyle Whittingham, and we were talking to both coaches about each other. They haven't had a robust relationship because they haven't really met until the league meetings this year. But Kyle Whittingham, when we asked about Gundy, he said he's no nonsense. He tells it exactly like it is, and that's a comfortable place for Kyle, who's kind of the same.
Jason, if we were embedded with these two programs all week, I guarantee you we'd hear the same words. We'd watch the same level of accountability. Right? I mean, that's how you sustain for 20 years. Kyle said it's all about fit, recruiting the right kind of kids that buy into that accountability, and both these programs, full of them.
10 straight winning seasons for Utah, 18 for Oklahoma State. Lenny Parks back to receive from the goal line. He'll take it out. And Parks is crushed. Clemens just buried him. Let's take a look at our Get More game plan sponsored by Geico. You okay to do this? Get More with Geico.
No. You want a moment of toughness? That was a moment of toughness right there for Utah's situational execution. Third downs in red zone. You're going to come in this building and do what not many do, right? As a ranked team even, you've got to execute in those situations. They did it in the red zone, and for Oklahoma State, get Ollie going. I love the Wildcat. I love kicking him out on the perimeter. Don't make him a target. Let him move around and be explosive.
Can Utah hold on to the ball as they're prone to do in those situations you're talking about? Third down will be enormous as Bernard is the tailback, Mekhi Bernard. It's generally a fairly conservative offense in terms of run pass. What about with Isaac Wilson at the control?
Yeah, I think the same, and I think the game will dictate some of that, but you do want to slow it down. You cannot allow these Pokes to play at their tempo and pace. You got to make Casey Dunn, that coordinator up in the booth, sit a little bit and hold and wait because they want to go. There's a good look at Cam Rising, who tried this week. He practiced a little bit. He just could not get the strength back in his grip. Watching him try to throw in warm-ups, Jason, was hard. There was no fastball. It was all change-ups, and that wouldn't be good enough against this opponent today.
They have 3 to snap it right here. Stanley is into the backfield, and they just got it off. No, they didn't. It's tough to hear whistles.
Is it?
What?
Prior to the delay of game, Utah has called their first charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Downstairs, Allison.
Guys, in talking to the Utah coaches, they're really pleased with the growth that Isaac Wilson has shown here, the way he was able to settle in as the game went on last week against Utah State. But offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig said there's no denying the play sheet shrinks a bit with Isaac. And you have to remember, it's not about the plays, it's about putting players in position to be successful. But he said as we go along with him, we'll add pages, not chapters to the book, but pages to the book of what we can do with him. But it's definitely a different set of calls with Isaac out there versus Cam Rising, excuse me. It's the Miami and me talking.
I know,
there. Sorry, guys.
That's exactly Ibis fever down there. How does that really specifically affect this offense in situations?
Well, you just can't do all the things that Cam's capable, all the checks, all the alerts, right? The depth of the playbook, the motions, the shifts, everything that Ludwig is so good at, you try to streamline and simplify. So when he looks at that wristband, he's confident with what he can do.
2nd and 7. That's Stanley out of the backfield on the wheel again. And wow, taken away by Rucker.
Oh, this is so good, Jason. We've seen that wheel route to Vaki, and we saw it in the opener to Stanley twice. You know what we didn't see? A center fielder tracking that ball perfectly. Look at Rucker beating him to the spot. The leading tackler in all of college football says, hey man, I'm not just a one-dimensional come downhill and finish you. I can go track the ball and take it away too.
He came out of nowhere to make that play.
Yeah, and that's a little unique for him. He's usually the free tackler. That time he was the free safety and went and got it.
First down, Oklahoma State. Presley met by Fillinger, he stiff-armed it. And he goes down in a heap. Elijah Davis made sure that there was not another broken tackle.
That might be the best 0-yard run you're going to see all weekend. I don't know how you tackle that guy. Fillinger tried. He slowed him down on the edge. Again, no Connor O'Toole, a big deal, especially if these guys got to play a ton of plays.
Yeah, they're a great combo on the edge there. Short set again, and this is on the money for Stribling. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Zamiah Vaughn on his back. There's the tempo again.
I mean, seriously, how quick is this ball out of Bowman's hands? And it's great to do because it frustrates the defense, especially early, Jason. Like, I can't even get close to him.
Sesi Vailahi, the redshirt freshman out of Salt Lake City, is the tailback. Vailahi changing direction, and down he goes. Alakai Gilman got the stop. You going for this?
Ooh. At home, challenges that freshman quarterback, and if I can punt him and pin him deep, yeah, I think this is the right call. Now maybe you could stay out there and try to draw a penalty and see if you can get Utah to jump. They're pretty disciplined, but Isaac Wilson, that's when you go and say, thank you, defense, for that 3-and-out and sudden change.
Any thought to faking this?
This might go to.
Never know. Substitution. Should be a delay. We've been at 0 for a while.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
You know, I'd love to go out to Morgan Scalley's practice and see how much they work. And Mike Gundy, it may irritate you. Maybe not there. You take the delay of game. But when you sub, is there a better team at lollygagging back to the sideline? They have somebody prepped and ready at any moment's notice so that if the offense subs, then you can go and sub at your own, and you don't have to come off at a rapid pace.
No, it's a reasonable amount of time. That's it. And so, off the delay. Second punter we've seen today. And this goes bouncing inside the 10 and then back toward the 11.
That student section going to be wider.
Got the paddles ready. 3-0 Oklahoma State. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. They're now conference opponents, but they only met once before today. October 20th, 1945, Oklahoma State eventually went on to be an unbeaten 9-0. They were Oklahoma Agricultural College at that point, and they retroactively got the AFCA championship. We don't have any of that anymore.
No.
We crown a college football playoff
And we
champion.
also have face masks on helmets.
Yeah, and they're not made of leather. So things have changed.
Come a long ways.
Low-scoring game so far. Utah, last time they touched it, the Utes had the pick by Rucker. Bernard straight ahead. He lost the football. It's down on the ground. Let's see. He got back on it. Mekhi Bernard flopped on top of it.
And I think it was Rucker that
Recovered
maybe
by the
came
offense,
in.
second down.
Martin and Rucker are so active. There's Rucker and there's Martin with the punch. Rucker, again, those are guys are 1-2 in tackles. 1 in America, 7 in America, 1-2 on this team. And Martin showing you, I can go in there and take the ball away just like my buddy Rucker did the previous play.
Rucker nearly got on top of the ball. Bernard just extended the arm. They'll go back to the ground. Mekhi Bernard, what a meeting right there. That was Rucker. They only want to be with each other.
And it's a good thing that we do have face masks. Because there he is. There's Mr. Rucker. He will come downhill and put his face right on your face. And kind of like in 1945, where there was a level of violence to have to tackle. That's not changed here.
That's the sound they made. 4 tight ends for Utah. Mitchell, the tailback, 3rd and 1. Straight ahead, first down Utes.
Just look. This kind of looked like Jim Harbaugh back in the day. Remember when he had all those safety, all those tight ends? And I'm going to create an extra gap and create an extra gap and do all that stuff? Well, kind of, or I'm just going to run it right up the middle. And not surprised after that interception, right? Just slow the game down. Just let's run the ball. Let's eat up some of this clock. And maybe the next pass will be a play action one off all this run.
There it is. Here's your play action. Left sideline, there is a marker coming in, and that is a good catch for Dorian Singer. We'll see if it stands.
This might be defensive holding, which you don't see called a lot, Jason.
Nobody's moved upfield yet.
Could be men downfield, but another strength.
Holding, number 56. Defense.
Yep.
That penalty's declined. Resolve the play. First down for Utah.
All over it.
Yeah, you know, another strength of Isaac Wilson, when you asked me earlier, okay, so what do you do? What's different? He likes the RPO game. And this is the end of it here with a really nice job by Singer to get his hands underneath and cradle that. I mean, that is textbook right there. Bring the elbows in, hands underneath the ball. But when Isaac Wilson got going a week ago against Utah State, the RPO game, which he was so comfortable with in high school, a big part of it, as was Mr. Singer.
Gain of 21 for the former All-Pac-12 receiver at Arizona. They'll run it again. Mekhi Bernard through the car wash and demanding contact with Robertson and Rucker. Gain of 14.
And just look at this. I mean, this is 3 different guys. It is Robertson, you mentioned. He makes the first impact after getting rid of Mokafisi. And then it's a yard, it's 2 yards, it's 5 yards after first impact.
Wilson to Bernard out of the backfield, and he is hogtied and dropped. Kendall Daniels, the converted defensive back, with the stop.
That's the stuff you see at the Stillwater Rodeo.
Is that what you did with your free time on Thursday?
I think they do that in the summertime, but he just absolutely corralled him. That is a monster at 6'5", 230, now playing linebacker.
Charlie Vincent picked up the rush and allowed for that pocket to stand up. It's incomplete for Money Parks. 3rd and 9. Corey Black with the coverage, the senior. And Oklahoma State defensively, again, kind of got hurt against Arkansas and Bobby Petrino. But
627.
First half wasn't great.
No.
Second half was better.
It was.
That's where the kind of comes.
Gotcha. Made some adjustments. Really good a week ago against Tulsa. And this has been a better effort. You can see they're a little undersized. If they are not the hittee, right, or the hitter, and they're the hittee, they get carried. The 3rd and 9 is the down and distance they want to live in.
Oklahoma State brings 5. Wilson across her, and that's a beautiful grab by Singer, who nearly kept his feet. No, they're going to say incomplete. They're going to wave it off. It is incomplete. The nose of the ball was in peril.
Wait till you see this. Wait till you see this effort, Jason. Corey Black's like, there's no way he's catching this.
Yep. Good call.
Early on the field is an incomplete forward pass. It'll be 4th down.
I mean, I think it was David Tyree to the side of the helmet.
That's right.
Look at Singer's effort here on the back of his helmet. How do you do that? How do you even make it close in that situation? He's still holding on to it.
Previous play of an incomplete forward pass is under further
They're going to
review.
review it. We have Dean Blandino with us, but it doesn't look like he in any way had control or survived the ground. Dean, what do you see on that?
The key, like you said, is control. When does he gain firm control? And to me, he's fighting that football the whole way. A tremendous effort, but does he ever have firm control of it? He's trying to pin it. It's hitting the ground there. To me, it's loose. They ruled it incomplete. I'm struggling to see enough evidence to overturn this.
Had they ruled it a catch, Dean?
Had they ruled it a catch, now you're sitting there going, okay, do we have enough to overturn it? Again, it's got to be clear and obvious either way. It's close. To me, ruled incomplete, it stands. If they ruled it a catch, if it's not clear and obvious, it would stand as well.
To be clear, though, there is a scenario where the ball hits the ground as it did, but he had control early enough that you could call it a catch, right? Not in this piece of evidence, but that's possible, right?
I think
Absolutely.
I think Kyle Whittingham's looking at the big board like, when does he lose control? And there is a instance there, right, where the ball did move to the ground. I think that's what you saw, Jason, right away, definitively. And in your mind, we're like, oh, lost control with the ground. Kyle's looking at that going, not only a superhuman effort, Corey Black's like, what? How is this even being reviewed? How did he even do that? I think ultimately the original call should be significant here.
Well, it's either 4th down and about 1 or 4th and 9.
After review, the receiver has firm control of the ball, and a body part was down prior to the ball touching the ground. It is a completed pass. It'll be 4th down at the 32-yard line.
Wow. So now you go for this, right?
Yep, so what he's saying there is he did have control, and when that knee went down, he had control for a couple steps. What an unbelievable, superhuman effort. That is the kind of effort Kyle Whittingham knows his veterans are going to have to do for a true freshman quarterback this afternoon.
Just an exceptional play. Call it officially 4th and 3. They'll go 4 tight ends. Mitchell the tailback.
So they shifted in on this last look, right? Ran it right at him. Do they stay? And we got a little timeout.
Timeout Utah. Their second of the first half.
Utah has called their second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Former linebacker, former quarterback.
Yep.
Kyle Whittingham, Mike Gundy. They know these states that they're in as well as anybody. Gundy, a quarterback at Oklahoma State. Whittingham, a linebacker at BYU.
And I think to Allison's point, the one sideline, about 15 degrees cooler because a little bit of the shade, and Kyle Whittingham and those Utes are sitting right in this sun.
See the sweat just caked on the arms of the 20th year head coach.
Okay, so the previous 4th down, you tried to play pass and get Isaac Wilson on the move. They covered everything up. The last time you went to this, well, they changed, right? They were 4 tight ends. Now you're in 3 receivers. I love the idea of options, right? Run, pass, option. If the box is right, it can be a run. If you get the coverage you want, you can throw it. I love options in these situations.
4th down and 3. Parks in motion. They'll flow that direction. Beautiful design. Monty Parks twisting down to the 21.
I mean, just not even a chance for Cale Smith. He's the corner that's got to come all the way over in motion. You're going to see him way behind the play. Got to sort through traffic. As you said, that is an Andy Ludwig special.
He emphasizes running hard in motion
Yes.
to make sure there's no wasted energy, try to create matchup issues, and Parks was hammering the gas pedal down the line.
So fun to watch them practice, and Andy Ludwig literally screaming as he's running on the plays with these guys to move, fast, fast, fast.
First down for Wilson. Pressure right up the middle. That's Rucker taking him down. Kendall Daniels, I should say, with the sack. Daniels came firing in. It's a loss of 11.
Yeah, I understand why, because these guys all move like safeties. The former 4-star safety himself, a terrific stunt. You see the 2 linebackers cross, and then there comes Daniels, the 3rd weapon, and what a weapon he is. But Eddie, if this guy gets comfortable playing linebacker, 6'4", 235, there's just not been many built like him. And Cam's like, yeah, I don't even think I could have got away from that guy.
Second down, Wilson. This side, Singer. And he'll get a lot of back, and down he goes. Corey Black just spiked him down, and Singer's got something to say.
Look at that. I mean,
From 43, this is on the way, and it is good to tie the ball game. All right, back to the 3rd down in the sack.
Yep, so you saw earlier, right, on that 4th down, a little bit of motion, fast motion created a wide open receiver. This time, look at Oklahoma State. Instead of running with him, he's going to pass it off, and they just bounce out. And then at the snap, you tell me where to throw. You want to play quarterback?
Nope.
Where am I throwing it, Jason? Am I throwing it here? Am I throwing it here? Who's open? Nobody is open, and they bring 1 extra and finally get home. You call that cover 0. 0 safeties deep. And you better communicate, and if you run it, you better get home and do damage. This is what Utah State did in the first quarter. Right, they were up 14-3, and they were hyper-aggressive against the true freshmen. I have a sense the Cowboys won't be calling off the blitz, even if they get hit, even if a big play comes, because they know a freshman, this game will move really, really fast.
It has not been a big-time blitz team so far this year, Oklahoma State under Brian Nardo, but they haven't had to either. This situation presents itself in a 3-3 tie, a lower scoring game than we expected to this point.
See how much Gundy was sweating. It's still hot.
It is scorching down there. Freeman from the 1. He is thrilled as well. Shaw with the hit. Look, 20 years is a long time as a college football head coach. Just watch him morph. Sometimes smiling, sometimes different hair. The only reason they don't have the same tenure is that Whittingham coached that one bowl game with our Urban Meyer as a co-head coach, but it's basically the same amount of time. It's like the presidential flip books, you know?
You know one thing I take from that?
What's that?
If you're going to endure for 20 years, you better have some great lettuce. Both those guys, tremendous hair.
Great respect for one another. Gundy's 57. Ollie Gordon strung out wide, and he is met. Lander Barton flowed that direction.
Yeah, that's 6'4", 236 at linebacker, 6'2", 230 at running back. When they matched up in 1945, I'm willing to bet you didn't have someone weighing 230 pounds in the entire game. And now you got him at running back and linebacker making collisions like that.
This has been one of the loudest fields we've had so far this year, just in terms of the contact. Bowman leans back, fires sideline. That's incomplete for Stribling. Their opening drive was 23 seconds. This is third down coming up.
And this is exactly what Morgan Scalley wanted. No free access. Do not let those guys win from the jump. Samaya Vaughn, an awesome job of making it hard on Stribling. Morgan knows they're going to throw 7, 8, 10 of those in this game. And your technique off the jump matters. You get beat clean right away, it's going over your head.
Got to get to the 23. That's Gordon out of the backfield. They'll throw it this way. And at the touch, there's contact. Owens incomplete. Smith Snowden, perfect timing.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Smith Snowden is a good one. He got beat a few times a week ago. He's their nickel back. And he's giving up some size to Owens, but he's quicker. And he sees that slant right away. And then takes the perfect angle to separate receiver from ball and get off the field.
That's one of those both fan bases are like, yeah, nah. Oklahoma State says, I got there a little early. Utah says perfect timing.
Yep.
That's a punt to Micah Pittman. Great punt. And great coverage as well. He is down. That's a strong effort on the coverage by Parker Robertson to keep the 51-yard punt exactly that. We're tied at 3.
Brave. Ain't too many pics, Bluetooth, don't send me none. Press no, who in this, but please roll these windows up.
Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Some great running backs here. Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, Terry Miller in the Ring of Honor. Cam Rising not playing today. Utah 20-6 with him, 10-5 without him. Some big wins nonetheless, but he was the catalyst to get them that Pac-12 title a couple years ago.
Yeah, and obviously the touchdown interception jumps out today. That sack number also jumps out. Right? Cam knows how to get rid of the ball, knows how to change protections a lot harder on a true freshman.
It's Isaac Wilson, Zach's brother, with a handoff for Bernard. And not a whole lot there. Wilson 5 for 9 with an interception so far.
Yeah, and I think once Brian Nardo, the D coordinator for Oklahoma State, saw that it would be Wilson and not Cam Rising, some of those blitzes got cranked up a little bit. Love this one on third down. A all-out cover zero blitz. Everybody plays man-to-man. You bring one more than they can block, and you trust you can keep him in the pocket and get home.
That only builds more confidence as the game goes on, right?
It does. It also leaves yourself a little vulnerable to a big play.
Parks in motion. Second down. There's a play action. He tries to step into it, and he throws a little wide. Money Parks comes back for it. What a rescue.
He had a touchdown. He had a touchdown on the deep post. We saw Singer with an unbelievable fingertip grab, and once again an explosive play of 20, and it's the receivers that are picking up the youngster, and that's what teams do. But that was the shot, man. That was a two-man route. He actually had the deep post for the touchdown, and Money Parks bailed him out with a phenomenal catch.
Back-to-back games with a touchdown for Parks, the senior out of Texas. Bernard, the tailback, they'll feed him here. He hits the hole, and he's driven back. There's Rucker again, along with Cam Smith, second down.
You're going to say Rucker a lot.
Just he leads the nation in tackles. I tried to give him another one.
And it's also schematic. They keep him free on purpose. There was not much hesitation when I asked Coach Nardo yesterday, is it a good thing your safety is the leading? Yes, it is. Because everything funnels to him in our scheme, and we trust he'll erase it.
Second down. Bernard ran into his own man, Lomu, and still drives the legs for a first down. He's a tough dude.
Jason, that is for Cowboys. Watch the end of this run. Well, first of all, he takes a shot from Lomu, his left tackle. There's one, there's two, there's three, there's a fourth. And who pushes the pile forward?
That's why he's one of the best fourth quarter runners in all of the FBS. Third most fourth quarter yards, and we'll see who wears down in this game. This is just the first act in the heat of Stillwater. It's a first down run again, and that's not going to be anything for Stanley. Loss of one on the play. Cody Waltersheim with the stop.
And Stanley a little different back. They tried to hit him on the wheel earlier. He's just about 180 pounds, and he is fast. Over the course of these acts, I bet you're going to see Mr. Bernard as much as anybody when it matters.
And that's the luxury for Utah. They have Mitchell, they have Stanley, they have Bernard. We've seen Charlie Vincent in the game as well, as Pittman was there as the tailback. Now he switches spots with Stanley. Second and 11. Stanley changing direction. A hurdle over his lineman, and he makes a nice gain out of it. He jumped over Togiai like he was Olympic equipment.
Yeah, there's some of that pre-snap motion, right? Pre-snap shift, trying to mess with the eyes, and a beautiful cutback. And guess who made the tackle?
Rucker. This is college football at its finest. 3rd and 5. Keithy in motion this time. They'll hand it off, and that's not going anywhere. Guess who?
This guy. Goodness gracious. Yeah, you're going to see him just come flying in here. He's a young black guy. And it's great to create unblocked guys, and most defenses attempt to do it, but then that guy's got to finish with a fury, and he does.
That's not the Rucker you want to say, let it be to alone. 4th down and 4.
Interesting.
They're going to go instead of take the field goal. Wilson rolling to the right, turning upfield and running for it, and putting the shoulder down. He got the ball across the line to gain. It's a 1st down, a rugged run.
Holding on the field is a 1st down, Utah.
That was awesome. It's one thing to have your receivers pick you up when you're the true freshman, and then it's another on 4th down to know where that marker is and to run through people to move those chains.
That's dangerous with the health of Cam. Rising at issue, Brandon Rose is the backup quarterback today. 1st down from the 20. Low snap, fake it to Vincent, throw it out wide. Dorian Singer turns upfield. Singer has a 1st and goal for Utah against Cam Smith.
I will tell you what is the story through about 25 minutes of play here on the field. Yards after contact, yards after catch.
Well, they came in with double the missed tackles. Oklahoma State's defense 26, Utah 13.
Yes, but I wouldn't even say they're missed tackles, Jason. It is who is moving the pile, who's carrying who's showing the extraordinary extra effort in this heat. It has been much more the boys from Salt Lake City than Oklahoma State, who's playing some hang on.
This is the 10th play of the drive this defense has endured. Vincent the back, Charlie Vincent, the senior, is down at the half-yard line. Cameron Epps stopped him right at the goal line.
You know what's really good? When mouthpieces come flying out of helmets. I'm a fan. You could see the mouthpiece left at the 1-yard line. Cameron Epps like, yeah, these guys are they're as tough as we are. We knew that coming in. Kyle Whittingham's a tough dude. Mike Gundy, tough guy.
Wilson is out wide. This is Brant Keithy playing Wildcat. Here we go. Head down and in. Touchdown on the ground, Brant Keithy. It looked like he got the wind knocked out of him earlier. He knocked out somebody else's here.
Yeah, watch right here. Watch Nick Martin, man. He is a bad, bad man, a middle linebacker, all-conference, 2-time captain, and this is just a one-on-one. They don't even really get to him. A nice job by Kirkland and nose tackle holding that double team. But Keithy, once again, is winning at the point of contact.
Loud Utah fans who just watched about a 6.5-minute drive. 9 runs, 2 passes. Just a total grinder. Cam, your thoughts?
Touchdown, Utah.
Want to see this week's top 25? Just tell Siri. Show me the college football rankings. Want to see this week's top 25? Just tell Siri. Show me the college. Want to see this week's top 25? Just tell Siri. Show me the college football rankings.
This feels like it's a hockey game right now with the loud pads and the helmets as Brant Kuithe has his 5th career rushing touchdown, and he paid the price for it.
Yeah. My hip hurts, my shoulder hurts, my ribs hurt. There's not going to be many Warriors coming off of this field today that aren't going to have some body parts hurting. 2 top 15 teams, first Big 12 game. They all know what's at stake here to set the tone and tempo for the season and just laying their bodies on the line.
2 teams full of guys who decided to come back to finish something in college football. As Friday night on Fox, we go coast to coast in the Big Ten. Washington takes on Rutgers coming up Friday, 8 Eastern on Fox. And if it's anything like Nebraska, Illinois, you're going to be gripping the edge of your chair. How about the Illini and Brett Bielema last night?
How about Timmy B and Devin Gardner having some Friday night fun? Just some theatrics going on.
Okay, so look at this. Look at this. 30-18 in plays. 15-15 to 7-20. At some point, there's a tax on Oklahoma State's defense.
Sure is. Big drive for your offense right now to keep those guys on the cool bench.
Bowman. Short set, he throws down the sideline, and that's incomplete. It is windy down there. That misses Owens. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, trying to run a little slant and go right there, and Bowman just puts the ball up. And you can see that might be the Ohio State and Oklahoma State 2 biggest American flags you're ever going to find in the stadium.
Enormous.
But Bowman likes to just put the ball up there for his guys. A little different challenge. Certainly the best opponent this season of corners that will challenge those guys on the perimeter.
See Gilman rolling the safety. Here's Bowman. They'll just flick it out of bounds. So 3rd down coming up, and now you cannot afford another short drive. This defense is gassed.
So you try to take a shot on 1st down, right? Little slant and go, one-on-one, can't win. That time try to move the pocket, and you got nowhere to go. Morgan Scalley's guys defensively, eyes all over it.
Coordinators have told us this, that when you don't have the ball a whole lot, you can get itchy as a play caller.
Yes.
Try to get your shots in.
Yes. And I think this drive is indicative of it, and it's exactly as Morgan Scalley's got hands on hips going, yep, you're playing right into my hands. If I get the stop and the offense, our offense goes back on that field.
Could be the 4th 3-and-out already for Oklahoma State. Gordon in motion. Bowman to throw, far side. He's got the 1st down and more across the 45-yard line. Dejon Stribling had to have it.
Yeah, and this is just, again, one of these good old one-on-ones, and this one just a little curl route on the outside. You don't have press coverage. Vaughn's trying to catch him, trying to play at the sticks. I think I press him. They have been so good in that press, trying to play the sticks, and the bigger body Stribling gets a must conversion.
Bowman throw, this is nearly caught. Shetron kind of tried to acrobatically haul that in, and then Elijah Davis ruined his afternoon.
I don't even want to know what this hit would do to my old man body. He's contorted, he's backwards, he gets hit and slammed to the ground.
Another quick set, got it to the sideline. That's Shetron down the seam. Oh, he became an absolute bull. Teo Johnson got whacked.
You want a moment of toughness? Here's one from the wide receiver. 1, 2, 3. And I too can run through those tackles.
Tempo, Ollie Gordon dips the shoulder and picks up about 3. 2nd down.
This is a grown man's game. Two grown man's rosters, but seriously, 2 grown-up cultures and just a grown man's afternoon work.
Both of these programs emphasize being physical, and we're watching it play out in front of us. 11 on 11. Bowman to throw. That's behind Owens, and it's 3rd down.
There are times when he does miss, and you mentioned that completion percentage is going to be down today. because Utah is going to get in his face. These edges on these RPOs are going to harass and even push that ball out earlier than Bowman likes to get it out, and you've seen that now a number of times, and why Morgan Scalley again is looking at a 3rd and 7 against one of the best third down defenses in all of college football.
22% allowed coming in, tied for 5th in the FBS. 3rd and 7 for Bowman, leaning back, and this is nearly intercepted. Smith Snowden, who wrestled one away in Logan last week, nearly ran for days.
Well, they're going to blitz, and they're going to bring the linebackers right up the middle, which means you've got one-on-one coverage right here. And Snowden got picked on. He gave up some plays. He had an unbelievable interception. You're right, Jason. But he also gave up some plays. And when asked this week, Morgan Scalley didn't hesitate. He said Smith will be ready. He loves to compete, and that was nearly a house call.
Utah is a very good block field goal team. They had one against Baylor earlier this year. This kick is on the way and sailing wide to the right. Ward misses from 46. Remember, Utah gets the ball out of halftime. Just leaked, and the Utes get a stop. Here is the look at the Big 12 nowadays. You see Utah jumping in with Colorado, Arizona State, and Kenny Dillingham, Arizona. This conference has 2 top teams in the top 15 right now, Utah and Oklahoma State, and still kind of tough to suss out who's going to be in that Big 12 title game that Oklahoma State's been at in 2 of the last 3 years.
Yep, I was listening to Chris Peterson the other night talk about that. You can make a case for a bunch of them. This will go a long ways this afternoon.
Utah with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. Oklahoma State has 3 timeouts, and Bernard looked like he was actually on a body. He tried to get back up, and they will blow it dead with a marker coming in. This could be the first penalty against Utah.
Illegal formation, more than 4 players in the backfield. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Interesting that they would accept. I mean, it's good to have the yardage, but giving Utah extra plays, we'll see. You could argue it both ways, don't you think?
I think so. And I think for Kyle Whittingham, what he is thinking, Jason, is exactly what you just alluded to. Isaac's been super solid, been efficient. The one interception didn't come back and bite you. Let's see how much of this ball we can continue to control, knowing you get it to begin the second half.
He looked off Stanley out of the backfield. That's Kuithe roaming free through the Oklahoma afternoon across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 17.
Well, they've done some good stuff with man coverage on some of these routes. This time, just you could see every defender drops into zone, just a 4-man rush on the true freshman. When Isaac can set his feet, there's a little mesh concept. Nobody is around, and Mr. Kuithe knows what to do with that kind of space.
On the defense, number 2.
The injured player is Corey Black for Oklahoma State. Brant Kuithe and Cam Rising have been around so long that Kuithe was the host for Cam Rising's visit to Utah. They hit it off pretty quickly. Allison talked to Kuithe about this and Rising as well, but they kind of did their rehab together. Obviously a little bit different quarterback and tight end, but they have been such institutional stalwarts for this team.
And just what foundational pieces to your culture.
Micah Pittman in the backfield. They'll swap again with Stanley. They did that earlier. Wilson rolling to the right, and that's Xavier Ross that got the first hit on him. Colin Clay finished the deal. When does Oklahoma State get the ball back is the question.
Well, again, the problem and why you're not is another Cowboy is down, and they have been on the field a lot. That is Ross down. That should be 2nd and 10, but instead you duck under a tackle that yard after initial contact, and 2nd and 7 keeps you on schedule.
And I know when we talked earlier, it's not necessarily missed tackles, but it's an indicator of how solid you've been at closing plays. And Utah has been better in that department to open the season, as we'll check on Ross, the senior out of Cedar Hill, Texas.
And that's a good look there on Mike Bajakian. Remember, he's been a coordinator in a bunch of spots. He's come in as a QB coach this year, and what a year to do it. Is once again, Cam Rising is out. To have someone like Mike as a mentor to Isaac Wilson, the true freshman, and a conduit for those guys up in the booth.
We've heard all of this contact, and you're talking about Bajakian and what he's brought. The strength coaches for both of these programs have been here as long as the head coaches. Rob Glass for Oklahoma State, Doug Elisaya for Utah. And I don't know, you've done this a long time. You asked Mike Gundy about his guy, and he said, if he leaves, I'm gone.
And I don't think he was joking.
I don't think so either.
Mike doesn't just say things to say things. I've got a 5-year extension, and Mike wants to be with him through all of it. But if he loses that guy, that is, you want to talk about, again, building a foundation. Strength coaches do that. They spend more time with the players than the coaches do. And Rob, one of the really good ones at instilling toughness physically and mentally.
And then Doug Elisaya on the other side for the Utah Utes, been there as long as Kyle Whittingham.
It's pretty cool loyalty. And I think both those strength coaches know they too got a pretty good thing with these two head men leading their programs.
You just hear it on the field, right? It's a loud game.
Loud noises.
2nd and 7. Wilson will throw, and that's batted. 3rd down coming up. Allison, what do you have?
Well, we asked Coach Witt what was the key, right? 20 years in the same place and that kind of success and longevity. He said 3 things: recruiting, recruiting, recruiting. It's all about getting the right talent and the right fit for the culture of your program.
And then developing.
Big 3rd down here, Jay. We got a long ways to go in this one. You said it earlier. We're just in the first couple acts. But defensively, you got to get off the field here. And if you're Utah, man, this would go a long ways to controlling the rest of this half.
Pittman in motion on 3rd down. Couple of crossers. Wilson flushed. He'll throw. He's got Singer, and Singer has the 1st down. He got clocked by Rucker, who's right in his face. They're going at it. And they're finally separated. It's a gain of 18.
Well, they have continued to go back to this kind of mesh concept and look at the eyes of the true freshman. No panic. No panic whatsoever, and the body control right there to contort himself and put that throw on the money. And yeah, There is some talking. The pads are talking, the players are talking, and the Utes are converting their situational football moments.
I like no penalty there. Let them figure it out. Let them play. First down, Mekhi Bernard navigating through the hole. He is so smooth. It's not the fastest cut, but he knows where he's going.
There's no wasted movement. As a corner, as a receiver, as a running back, whatever he's been asked to do for 6 years. And look at the dominance. Look at the number of plays run in that Cowboys side of the field.
They've had the ball for more than 18 minutes in the first half. This is what Utah has done to USC in the past, in the Pac-12. They've carried it here to Stillwater in their Big 12 opener. Mitchell, the tailback, and the freshman runs right into alignment. That was Lomu again. It'll be third down and about 2. And they can wind it down to the 2-minute, whatever we call it.
Timeout. These Cowboys have been on the field a long time.
This game has felt like a Western. Saloon doors, tumbleweeds, wind, and just rugged behavior. 10-3. 2 powerhouses. Fox College Football is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Order your saucy nugs, small fries, and a Coke Zero Sugar for only $5. Get it today with free delivery in the Wendy's app. 100 degrees air temperature, about 140 on the field itself. And Isaac Wilson has been quite good so far. Cam Rising with a couple of thoughts for him.
Well, this helps. And Isaac talked about it last week. He's spending all the extra time in the meetings and how good Cam was to him and helping him as a mentor and doing the same right here on the field, walking the true freshman along who's playing great right now.
He's got a 3rd and 2 in front of him. That's Mitchell, the freshman, plunging toward the line to gain. It looks like he got there.
And that was the corner, Cale Smith, and that is a tough one. It's one thing to have Rucker is the free tackler. It's another to have a 175-pound corner.
Let's see. It's going to be really close based on the spot. And again, replay is looking at each play, so there's a chance they could stop it. They'll bring out the chains.
Those poor guys got to be hot down there too.
It's a battle of wills.
Yep.
Couple of footballs. I don't know, that seemed like a conservative spot based on real time.
You're going here, right?
Yes. Well, Utah has played this game like they feel like they can run through a yard. Two of three on fourth down, the Utes. 4 tight ends in. Straight ahead, it's another first down. Mitchell moves the sticks, gain of 3.
They don't just feel like they can, they believe and know they can. I mean, Nick Martin knew what was coming. Walter Scheid knew what was coming. Those guys inside knew what was coming, but enough push against them, and you can't catch these Utah runners. I think that's what they're learning. Heck, even the receivers as half a man. You got to get all of them. If you get a shoulder, you are getting pushed backwards.
Bernard back in, first down. Wilson rolling right, trying to throw it back. He's got Bernard who juggles it, and he lost the football. He lost the ball. Nick Martin looked like he was on it. Will he come away with it? They're saying let go, but nobody's going to do that. Luca Calderella's down there for Utah.
Ruling on the field is a fumble.
Oklahoma State football.
First down, Oklahoma State.
Boy, that was a mess right from the catch.
Yeah, this is going to be really close of whether or not Bernard ever had full possession of this. It was set up initially, right? You get what you want with the pressure in the blitz. Does he catch it long enough, Jason, and become a runner?
Dean Blandino is with us. Dean, does he have control?
I do believe he has control. The issue then is, does he have it long enough? And he is going to get control in both hands, but he's hit almost immediately, and then it's pulled free. They did rule it a catch fumble. So what they're going to have to determine, did he lose that ball before the catch process was completed?
How long is long enough is the question.
That's a great question. Look, we don't have a stopwatch. It's, does he have the ball long enough to perform an act common to the game? Can he turn upfield? Can he do something else with it? They're letting this go, so they're good with catch fumble.
Yeah, they're not going to stop this team. Thank you very much. 104 for Oklahoma State. Huge drive. Utah gets it out of halftime. Bowman, this side, tapped and nearly intercepted. Cameron Calhoun had his mitts on it off the Owens deflection.
Yeah, first Owens, again, it's not complicated. They're either trying to run by him or trying to pull up on these little curl routes. It goes off Owens, Calhoun nearly with the takeaway. Just a little bit off Oklahoma State, and that is what this level of just grit and toughness will do to you.
Bowman again. Double clutch, and he'll finally throw. It's low and incomplete, so not a clean platform there for him. Owens reached down. Utah has a timeout. The Utes might see it again.
Yeah, and that's one that the veteran knows. I got to hit that. You watch the true freshman do it to his left. That was to his right. And that's where Bowman knows he's not a runner. He gets the ball out. He knows what he is and what he isn't. But in a game like this, you're going to have to make plays off platform. You're going to have to make them off schedule. You cannot find the connection in a brutally important 3rd and 10.
Watch Presley there. He's in motion, slot, top of the screen. Bowman rolling again. That was Fillinger who he saw. Bowman lobs it, and it's intercepted. Alakai Gilman read it beautifully.
It's an interception. First down, Utah.
Fillinger made that happen, Brock.
He did with his 1-2 and effort, and then it is just the smarts, and Cam Rising is loving it. Gilman is a transfer, first-year player here, and you'll see once again that just a 4-man rush, and that pocket is going to break down. The Big 12's best sacker, you're right, sets the whole thing in motion, But Jason, the two in the back end pass it off. Gilman passes it off so he can jump in front of Presley. And that is back-to-back plays by a veteran quarterback that is looking like the freshman out here and not the seasoned vet.
Is there a more consistent unit in college football than the Utah defense in what they do and how they do it?
And if you're living in 3rd and 7+, it's basically dead on arrival.
Utah again. Brant Kuithe sits down, and he is across the 30-yard line. They have one timeout remaining.
Number 4, Nick Martin.
Give them the first down. Move the sticks down to 30 seconds. Utah would love some points at least. Wilson, this side, and it's intercepted.
Ruling on the field. It's an interception. Oklahoma State, first down.
Well, you gave a tip of the cap to Fillinger. Let's do the same right here to Robertson. You're going to see 22 get right into the face of Isaac Wilson. We're not messing around. We're not going to let this kid get comfortable. And this is a matchup they wanted. They wanted Kuithe on the safeties. Does he control it right? Does he control it through contact with the ground?
This would be the 3rd turnover in the last 6 plays.
Rucker has had himself some kind of first 30 minutes.
Halftime coming up at some point if we stop having changes of possession. It's Emmanuel Acho, Chris Peterson, State Farm halftime show. Some of the stories they're covering include USC and Michigan. Yeah, they're going to look at this. They're going to stop play.
This is really close again.
It is. Dean Blandino is on the no catch trail. Dean, what do you see this time?
Another tight play. The issue here is going to be control. I see the left arm on the ball initially. The ball does touch the ground. There is some slight movement, but is that clear loss of control? This is probably our best look. They ruled it an interception. You can see that slight movement. They're going to have to determine, is that a loss of control? I don't see enough at this point to overturn it. But again, really close.
Hey, Dean, two questions. This play and the last one. Do you ever like looking at them in full speed?
Yes, absolutely. Especially the catch fumble play where you're thinking about the time element. You want to watch it at full speed, and then you can slow it up.
Ruling on the field stands. First down, Oklahoma State.
Stands, Dean.
I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
All right, Brock, Oklahoma State, 3 timeouts, 20 seconds. Do you do anything here, or do you just go to halftime?
Go to halftime. And consider yourself a little bit fortunate you're down 7 because offensively you've had no continuity. Utah's been on the field the entire first half, and Isaac Wilson right there, that's one of those freshman lessons. Don't force the issue.
Ollie Gordon, they hit him at the legs, and he goes down after 2. Lander Barton made the stop eventually. We expected points.
And Allen's got to get a whole lot more comfortable. But right now, Utah is dictating this game, even if it's only a 7-point lead.
We will see if Oklahoma State can gather some control as that kickoff goes out of bounds.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball will be placed
West
at the
Ball
35-yard
booted it
line.
out of bounds. Downstairs, Allison, what'd you hear at halftime?
We are locked in a physical defensive battle is how Kyle Whittingham described this game so far. And he described his quarterback Isaac Wilson as okay. He said he's had some mistakes, but he's also had some good moments, made some key throws, a couple key scrambles, but he's continuing to play with confidence. And he said that's key for him. And nothing has fazed him, even those mistakes, he's remained confident. As for Mike Gundy, still frustrated with that offense, guys. It's similar to what he told me after the first quarter. He said, we're just kind of all over the place. There's no balance to our offense. We had some busted routes. It's not like us. We have to get it cleaned up and settle in.
We'll see if they can. Utah on the ball first. Stanley has to dodge a pair in the backfield, and he gets torpedoed down. Obi Ezigbo filling in for the injured Colin Oliver on a loss of 1.
Yeah, these Cowboys were on the field a lot defensively, on a field that is still, we remind you, scorching hot. They've got to find ways to do really what Utah's defense has done, and that's get off the field. But you know what I love? Look at that rugged helmet. Look at all of those hit marks.
Somebody needs to clean up that windshield.
No. I think he likes it that way.
2nd and 11. for Bernard. Micah Bernard switching directions suavely again.
Number
3rd
two.
down.
Micah Bernard.
Talked about that situational excellence. You come on the road. Oklahoma State's won their last 7 against ranked teams in this building. And these situations become so critical. Red zone, 3rd downs, continue to control the game.
They're just 2 for 7 on 3rd down, but 3 for 4 on 4th down today. So conversion has been okay, if not good. 3rd and 6. Big 12 opener in Stillwater. Wilson, 2 steps back, and it's incomplete off the hands of Singer. Cam Smith reached through and got the stop.
Yeah, nice job. We've seen these Utah corners do exactly this. Just read it out. Eyes to the backfield. You know it's 3rd and 6. What routes do you like on 3rd and 6? Slant routes, in-breaking routes. Be the first one there. All about that angle. That looked like Smith Snowden on the other side to get the 3rd down stop.
Parker Robertson is one of the 2 back there for this punt. Gavin Freeman is the other one. They'll roll this direction, and it's a fair catch. As that checks up and goes backward, Utah has to touch it up with Lander Barton. Just a 30-yard punt. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico.
I want you to watch something along with me here in this second half, Jason, and you can see the lack of productivity offensively. Just could not get anything going. And actually, Bowman is not going to start the second half. I was going to say, watch his feet because they were a little sloppy in that first half.
It's Garrett Rangel, the redshirt sophomore from Frisco. Wow. Who started against Central Arkansas last year among 5 games he played. Rangel in at quarterback. He's thrown all of 8 passes this year. Ollie Gordon's 7th carry of the day goes straight ahead, and he nearly squeaked out of the pile. Finally knocked down by Tafuna and Teo Johnson, gain of 6. Okay, what do you think of this?
Well, I thought the footwork was really sloppy in the first half from Bowman. I thought the decision making was problematic, but this feels like a statement.
Mike Gundy, former quarterback himself, watches his quarterback throw it incomplete.
A statement to your team that that's not good enough. A statement to the guys to maybe pick up a young quarterback as well. I'm a little surprised. I would think you would talk to Bowman, and I think you would talk to him and say, hey, man, like, let's straighten this up. Let's clean up your feet. Let's get back to some of the fundamentals, because that wasn't good enough, but he does not get the chance to at least start here at the second half.
Been through so much. He was the 3rd string quarterback, if that, at Michigan when he was there after starting at Texas Tech. But this is now Rangel's team. 3rd down and 4. Gordon in motion. Rangel steps up and throws, and that's incomplete. Teo Johnson stepped in front, so same result basically.
Yeah, and that was nearly intercepted here because this Utah defense, Jason, is locked in, man. They are all over it. This is not an easy group to come in and try to figure out, especially on 3rd downs. Teo makes the jump on that route, nearly gets it. I will say this, I wonder if it's also because Rangel can run a little bit. And Bowman was such a sitting target back there, but yeah, as you said, a 3 and out, not much different than most of that first half.
The 19th 3 and out delivered by the Utah defense so far this year. Pittman waving for the fair catch. It's a 43-yard punt and no return. Utah will have it when we come back. The Utes on their 2nd quarterback as well, but they knew it starting today. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. 10-3 Utah as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life. Good day to take a dip. Creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Utah's defense has been the story.
Yeah, if you like defense, then stay tuned to this one, because it has just been a violent affair. Rucker, 9 tackles, 2 picks in that first half was just phenomenal. You see the struggles with Bowman and a really rough drive before half. And I'm curious if this will be an entire second half thing with him sitting, or that was sit and watch a series.
What do you think? What's your instinct?
My instinct would be give the guy who threw 5 touchdowns last week and is 3-0 an opportunity to right the wrongs.
Isaac Wilson giving some ground and throwing it out wide for Charlie Vincent, who's in his 6th year, a walk-on coming in. And he's one of those guys Andy Ludwig pointed to and was like, I'm so happy to have these guys who've been here for my whole second stint.
They know the whole language, they know the whole playbook, and he also knows if he could have stayed on his feet, there was a lot of room to run. Very clear here, the first 4 snaps defensively, Jason, they are not sitting back. They, in Oklahoma State, are trying to dictate. Linebackers are coming downhill. Look at everybody around that line of scrimmage trying to crank up the heat.
See Robertson in the middle of that formation. It is Bernard, and that's Rucker again. Straight ahead into Rucker. It'll be 3rd down. No, they're going to say he got it. 1st down for Utah. He did crash forward.
Yeah, once again, that is that yards after contact. And Rucker is good as anybody at stopping you, having that stopping power. But time and again, the Utes, the reason they've been on the field the majority of this game, it has been the yards after that initial hit.
Time of possession, again, a major issue. 13 extra minutes just about Utah's been on the ball in this game. Wilson nearly lost the ball. He keeps it, feeling the pressure. It's incomplete. What a great defensive play by Corey Black. Daniels came with the heat.
Yeah, this is so good on a number of different levels. Black back in the game. Remember, knocked out in the first half. This is a tight throw. You're going to see number 2 come across the formation. Just a 2-man route. Andy Ludwig sees what I see, and that's a lot of pressure. And Black is able at the last second as Wilson gets smacked to knock that ball away.
Corey Black's father was a defensive back in this conference at Kansas State. Second down, they'll feed Bernard, and he is spinebuster down by Nick Martin.
Oh, this is so good. Watch Martin here, and he's going to come right around the corner. Enough of this, man. Enough of me taking the blow. I'm going to put textbook form tackle right through you to the turf for 3rd and 10 plus.
Gave him the old Arn Anderson there, a former running back himself, Nick Martin, who said he was terrified of contact when he started playing football. Boy, has he grown. Third and 11 for Wilson. Late pressure picked up nicely by Bernard. Wilson rolling and running for it. Wilson's got the first down into open space down the sideline. Isaac Wilson broke contain. A 48-yard run.
Wow. That is so good, and so is this. We have seen Bernard do it with his legs on the ground. Look at him right here, take on the rusher and just sacrifice. Just do enough so Isaac Wilson sees man-to-man and everybody running with their guys and nothing but green grass in front of him. And what a huge play. Look at those eyes. Look at the eyes of the freshman. They just tell the whole story right there with the explosive.
People talk about a wide-eyed freshman. That is A1. Give it to Bernard and let him do it for a moment. Second down coming up.
That is such a relief after you've taken a pounding, right? After you've gotten hit a bunch. When your teammates step up, and Cam Rising's the same way, man. How many games have we called with Cam where it's his legs that are the X factor? It is that scramble. It is that conversion. And that time, Isaac Wilson, the wherewithal to slow it down, see man-to-man, and everybody running away looking for that crease and exploding.
He was Mr. Football last year in the state of Utah. 5,900 total yards. He's been a winner, and that was a winning play right there.
Big time.
Second down. Wilson feeling confident for Singer. End zone incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Cale Smith.
And then the freshman giveth. And it nearly taketh away, right? Wonderful job by Dorian Singer to come back to this football, and really receiver turns into DB with Cale Smith to knock it away.
Cale Smith, who went to Mike Gundy's high school in Midwest City, nearly had a huge play.
And these receivers are fighting for the quarterback. Their quarterback is fighting for his teammates. And now you've got to fight for ball security and make sure you do not go backwards.
They got to snap this thing. Wilson, this way. It's a comeback and a beautiful grab by Singer, who's thrown down at the end by Corey Black. They'll bump, and there is no marker down. It'll be fourth down for Utah. And imagine you take the points here if you're Kyle Whittingham.
100%. The way your defense is playing, and once again, I'll say what you said earlier. I love they don't call anything there. Let these grown-ups play.
Wilson looking at his hand here.
He is.
Flexing that right hand as he walked off. Cole Becker, who Kyle Whittingham said always bounces back. He is a proven commodity this week. This one sails on him. No good. An enormous moment early in the newly minted Big 12 and its race for number one.
Dime, esto es lo que tú querías. Yo soy fino, esto es...
Education and Human Sciences the centennial anniversary.
Fox College Football is sponsored by the Chili's 3 for Me, the best $10.99 you can eat. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance, only pay for what you need. The National Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum is located here, and this is the most fitting billboard that you could possibly dream up with how this game has gone, with just the power and the strength. It's 15,000 square feet, but this game's been played in a phone booth in a lot of ways. Rangel back out there. He'll hand it off, and a broken tackle leads to a loss of 2 anyway. Tafuna spiked down Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, that's just an awesome play by Tafuna. A lot of conversation about what's going on with the run game. Well, there's a little stunt, there's a little movement. The thought by Utah was, hey, let's show some different stunts, show some color, and let's get number 0's feet stopping. Because if they stop when he gets the ball, it is a huge advantage, Utes. Nice play by the 3-time second-team all-conference member, Tafuna.
Second down. Rangel tipped at the line, incomplete. Sione Fotu got the hand up, and that was an emphasis for Morgan Scalley against Bowman. They get one on Rangel, and no big plays, really.
Nothing. There's no rhythm. There's no continuity. There's no first down rush success to kind of set the table for everything. And remember, I mean, this is 5 6th-year offensive linemen. This is a veteran crew largely around now, a young quarterback. And Utah is playing this game downhill.
Well, this defense for Oklahoma State might be dragging. On the other side, fresh defense for Utah, only on the field for about 11 minutes today. Rangel down the middle, beautiful grab. Shetron, another big catch. He was huge last week. He's got 2 important ones today.
This is just an unbelievable catch. Zone defense here in Fotu 12. You see it. He just doesn't sink underneath it. And with the safety ready to hammer him, the concentration to finish.
Randell took a hit, got it away. Shetron again knocked down by Davis. But you think of what Shetron's been through in this program. Couple of collarbone injuries, broken ankle in the spring of 22. And he's been as big as anybody at the wide receiver position today.
Yeah, hamstring as well that really limited last year. He's hobbling around as he's taking some shots. And for Rangel to stand in there on 3rd and 10 and throw that BB into a really tight window should instill some confidence.
Railagi in the backfield. They'll fake it to him. Rangel down the field, too much. Shetron had broken away.
Gosh, I don't think he thought the ball was coming to him. That was a perfectly thrown ball, Benetti. And I don't know if Shetron was just totally gassed. You can see him right there, yeah. I think he is just spent because he did not come out of that break. Had he come out of that break, that was a really well-thrown ball.
I was surprised he stayed in for that play, considering how he looked after the first down play.
And you don't get many of those free runners behind this Utes defense.
3rd and 5. To the outside by Lahi. The freshman is stopped. He was bracketed down right at midfield. Cameron Calhoun finished the play. Tanuvasa helped 4th down.
Yeah, they won't like this, but you've got to punt this.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because your defense has given up how many points? 10.
But they've been on the field
and
for so long.
Taken the ball away, and you've done really nothing to show Mike Gundy offensively in your run game, especially that you're a threat. So incumbent here, if you're going to do this, you better get a good one, and you better pin him deep, but I think this is the right decision.
That's a caught to Micah Pittman. Their catch at the 11. So look, they flipped the field. Defense needs a stop for Oklahoma State. Utah leading 10-3 in a battle. These two coaches are such a product of their environment growing up. Kyle Whittingham's dad, Fred, was an NFL player who was a straight shooter. He lost his job with the New Orleans Saints because he told off the owner at a party. And then you have Mike Gundy, whose father, Ray, is still with us and can be found at Mike's Ranch in 100-degree weather, dealing with the hay at 86 years old. They are tough as can be. Mekhi Bernard on the run, keeps his feet and breaks away. Look out, Bernard, hesitation down the sideline. Mekhi Bernard embracing the ball down to the 25 to hang on. A 61-yard run.
What you're saying about him is the best fourth quarter running back in college football. He didn't wait to the fourth quarter. Nope, he ran right through that one missed tackle. I think that was Martin that was flying in, and then there's another, and then there's another. And I know why you didn't love that punt. You were being kind to me because you were like, man, this defense has been on the field a long time.
That's exactly it.
There has been so much asked of this defense. How much more do they have in the tank? Well, they just showed you not very much because Bernard devastated them with that run.
I mean, Brock, we're talking about 27 minutes on the field so far for this defense. Stanley, the tailback. Wilson, quick release. Got the tight end, Keithy, who does a little soft shoe, and he goes down after a couple of yards. Dylan Smith made the stop. This is a must-have here for Oklahoma State's defense, and we'll see if Utah believes in the kicker here.
Yeah,
if they need to.
Mokofisi is also running off the field, the big physical right guard. So you see a little bit of movement here for Utah's offensive line. We knew that this would be a battle of some attrition. Guys that just throw their bodies around. And one of these, again, just big game situation moments.
It's the sophomore Moei in at that spot now, and they'll run power anyway. Mitchell stopped by Ezigbo, third down. For Utah, it's plus 15 in total plays right now, 54 to 39.
It feels like even more, to be honest.
Where does it stress the defense most, being on the field this long?
Oh gosh, it's the big people. Look at those rushing yard numbers, right? Passing's about the same, but almost, what, 4 to 1? It's those big guys in the front that feel the brunt of it.
Mitchell the back on 3rd and 3. They will feed him, and he's roped down at the 20-yard line. Ezigbo and Robertson there. Kyle Whittingham believes in his kicking game, even though it got leaky last time.
That was so good from Ezigbo. We've seen this a few times. He's filling in for Colin Oliver, and he just shot his shot, man. Beat the block of Sugataranga and sets up a significant field goal with the wind that looks like in the breeze that's died down a little bit going into this end.
Straight away for Becker. Out of the hole to Baumeister. This one is true. 2-score game. With the way the Utah defense has played, this might be insurmountable for some teams. There's a smile from the special teams. Time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. When was the last time two head coaches with 20 plus years of experience at the same school faced each other was what we asked, and the answer is 2008. Bobby Bowden, Frank Beamer, two absolute legends in the ACC.
So cool.
It may never happen again.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
Right? Oklahoma State has had offensive struggles all day long. Under 4 yards of play in their 39 plays from scrimmage.
Yeah, I got to get Brennan Presley involved. They're trying to with Ollie on occasion, but number 80 with 3 touches today is not enough. I'd really consider Alan Bowman again. I know he was shaky and rattled, but he is your 7th-year veteran.
He also did get you 44, 39, and 45 points in the first 3 games. Freeman turning the corner and meeting doom across the 20-yard line. So 20 years ago, when these guys took over as head coach, that's what they looked like. Look at the youth.
So young.
Youth of the nation. And then Batman Begins was in theaters. We just got YouTube. How about that? Texas National Championship.
Oh,
and by the way, the
whatever,
BCS
Gilbert.
existed.
Okay, Gilbert, thanks for sneaking that in.
You take this one.
Oh, yeah, how about those White Sox? Woo! Winners. Not this year.
How many fewer losses do they have that year is a question. And then Utah was in the Mountain West as they have bounced conference to conference. This is a run for Ollie Gordon. Rangel still in there. Logan Fauno with the stop. So they're going with Rangel here. They're going to ride with it.
Yeah, and again, nothing against him. You're just throwing him right into the teeth of one of the best defenses in college football.
He's going to run. There's a flag down. Fillinger got the stop. We'll see what the marker's about. And Fillinger, these ends are so good.
Yes.
Even without Connor O'Toole today, who's out with an ankle injury.
So long. Fauno chased that last play down, just collapsing those edges.
Illegal formation, more than 4 players, backfield. That penalties decline. 3rd down.
Kyle wants 3rd down. Again, this is one of the best 3rd down defenses in the FBS. 22% coming in, and Oklahoma State's just 3 for 11.
They ran some zone on the last 3rd and 7+, and you saw a terrific throw from Rangel against Morgan Scalley. He likes to heat it up and play man, and he loves his 3rd down execution.
I think he just said man on the sideline. 3rd and 8. Rangel, everybody's out of bounds, and that's incomplete. That was Owens getting wide around turn 3 with Cameron Calhoun.
Yeah, that's 230-pound Owens against 177-pound Calhoun. And who won?
Calhoun.
Giving up 50 pounds, but when you win from the jump and you use that boundary and you push that big body out, nowhere to go. This offense is just stuck.
Pittman back for the punt. And he will field it at the edge. Nothing good can come from that. Tomorrow, an NFL doubleheader on Fox. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles against the 40-point-a-game New Orleans Saints or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens take on Dak and the Cowboys. Check your local listings for the game in your area. It all starts tomorrow on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
And if I know NFL schedules, Zach Wilson sitting in his hotel down in Tampa, 3rd stringer with Denver. And I am sure right now, just in his hotel room, just trying to encourage his brother Isaac against all these pokes, against all this orange and everything. And you could see just the dominance in time of possession. And if big brother could tell little brother anything, it is manage these final 16 minutes like a pro. No reason to force the issue.
Zach was so good at BYU. Wilson steps up. Oh, what a nice little slide. And another rescue by Dorian Singer. And he's still going. He's finally driven back by Corey Black. These receivers have been life rafts for Wilson.
They have, and this subtle little shoulder shimmy right here from Isaac in the pocket is exactly what he and his brother do with their QB trainers. Step up into the pocket, have the eyes and the awareness which we have seen, and then you're right, Singer on the other end for 14 more, snatching it out of the air.
You played with Peyton Manning. He was so good at just that one move to get himself a little cleaner.
That's it. Tom Brady, same thing. And it truly what you train, those subtle little pocket movements.
Bernard, the tailback. Utah runs it straight ahead. Bernard with a gap down to the 41. That's a saving tackle by Cameron Epps, and Utah is just running roughshod.
I mean, is Bernard kind of turning into like one of our favorite players in college football?
Yes, the answer is yes.
I mean, 14 more yards here, and just whatever is asked. How many guys in his position stay at Utah?
After being a defensive back,
yeah,
being third fiddle in the running back room quite often.
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is almost zero. They all look for their own opportunity and think the grass is greener, and all he's doing is eating grass. Chunks of it.
Here he is again. Little sidestep. What a hop. I mean, is there any better program at finding the right position for somebody than Utah?
Yeah.
Utah on the ball with the lead. Money Parks running behind Vincent, who got a block in there to set up a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, over 210 yards. That's actually some passing yards there with that front little flip. But Utah running for over 200 yards in this building. Kind of making that statement about what we talked about. Who and where is the hierarchy in the Big 12? 14 minutes away from making a truly profound statement.
Utah just 3 for 11 on 3rd down for all that's gone right. Vincent, the senior, is washed down. 4th down coming up. What do? That might be a run to go for it, don't you think?
It could be. You're certainly not going to kick it from this distance. An excellent job there by Daniels and the safety Robertson flying in. Probably put Bernard back in the game, and they have loved to use Wilson's dual threat nature here in these 4th down situations.
They do have Bernard back in. Utah's been great on 4th down. 3 for 4 today in the heat of Stillwater. Fake it. Wilson wanted to throw. Now he'll roll. He gets to the outside and clears the line to gain once again. That is the dual threat ability from Isaac Wilson.
That is big time, and the fans here super frustrated. Thought Lomu the left tackle, and so is Mike Gundy. He is furious right in front of him. They thought the young redshirt freshman was holding there, and he's about to lose it right here. You're going to see as Wilson's looking for that escape valve, using those legs. You tell me, does Lomu get away with a hold here on this scramble? The bench certainly thought so. It's close. You can see why they're furious.
Wilson snaps it off. Incomplete. Yeah, Mike Gundy was incensed on the sideline.
He knows. He knows, man. He is fighting. It's 4th down. He is fighting for his players who have just played their butts off defensively. Didn't get the call, and now knows you've got to find a way to get a stop.
They've endured 40 plays in their own territory, the Oklahoma State defense. Charlie Vincent. Oh, what a snake out of the backfield to change direction and pick up about 7, 3rd and 4, call it.
And once again, just look at the massive humanity, man, in that rugby scrum. And then just a little bit of that quickness to find the crease. And look at the much more manageable 3rd and 4th downs these youths have been in versus their peers.
Both of his parents went to Utah, another legacy in this program. 3rd down and 4. The tailback rotation continues, keeping them fresh.
And nobody, no poke more than 5 yards deep.
Mitchell is swarmed. Ezigbo got the stop, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, this Ezigbo has done this a number of times, has just slashed right in. Nobody is blocking him there because of knockback in the middle of the line. Landon King cannot get to Ozigbo, and they force the field goal attempt.
From 44 for Becker. Into the shadows. He striped it.
The field goal is good.
It's not a put away by Utah, but it gets some extra space. Remember, Oklahoma State came back against Arkansas here. Can they do it again? Utah by 13.
Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. And by Jeep, there's only one. Our crew has worked so hard today to get you the pictures for this game. See Turtle upstairs. He's lost 15 pounds. There he is. Look, this crew.
Don't flinch.
No.
This crew doesn't flinch.
Of course not. You've been with them
You
for
want
a long
toughness?
time.
You want moments of toughness?
They're so good.
You take this camera crew anywhere. Love them.
They'd like to go to maybe like 72-degree weather next week, hypothetically, but 16-3. Thank you to one and all working so hard to get you college football on this Saturday. Gavin Freeman on the return. Oklahoma State needed a good return. They got to the 25 as Shaw makes another stop on special teams. There is a marker in as well. The reviews are in. And first things first is a mix of analysis, tremendous chemistry, and total ridiculousness. Nick Wright, Chris, Kevin serve up a fresh daily dose of unscripted and unfiltered sports talk. Catch it weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1. We've had a mix of analysis, tremendous chemistry, and total
After the
ridiculousness.
play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 48 of the receiving team. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. First down.
Nothing has gone right. Average time of possession at 1:24 has been the story in triple-digit heat more than anything.
I mean, that is incredible. 5 3-and-outs, just not manageable third downs. Absolutely no semblance of a tough running game. I mean, in many ways, they're fortunate. 3 turnovers, some red zone stops by their defense. They're fortunate to only be down 13 and still very much alive.
Randall's still in. He spins and he throws. The defender fell and it's incomplete. Snowden was on the ground. They tried to get Presley his 4th touch of the game, and Rangel misfired.
Yeah, and again, you start to hear some disgruntlement in the stands, and I just don't fully understand this. Now, we don't have the scope of last season, Jason, and in talking to some folks again at halftime and some of the frustration of Oklahoma State fans where, you know, Bowman lost some fundamentals and maybe his feet got a little bit happy. But how many points has he scored this year? A lot, 40 a game. 5 touchdowns a week ago. A bad half, a bad couple series. Still surprised by this move.
Rangel incomplete. Snowden on the coverage of Presley again. I will say Mike Gundy knows quarterbacks as well as anybody. The top passers at this school have played under Mike Gundy, and he's one of them.
Yes, and this is no shot at Rangel at all. But who got the work this week? Who got the prep against this ferocious defense, trying to figure out 3rd and 10s and 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 8s? Mike Gundy's a man of conviction. He's going to make a decision. He's going to talk about it after this game. And certainly there was a lot of struggle in that first half. But so much so that you pull the plug after 30 minutes.
3rd down. Will it be a 6th 3 and out? Yeah, there's a marker in. That was delay. It's not going to make the locals happy.
Delay game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And these are the things that, you know, when you haven't played for 7 years and you haven't experienced the whole spectrum that Alan Bowman has, that when you get kind of thrown into truly an inferno here, and the disbelief in the stands is warranted. Just 3 points. Mike Gundy's not had many of these outings in 20 years offensively.
Just anguish on the faces of the fans here. They've got to get to the 22 and a half for a 1st down. Randall with pressure coming. No, sir. It's going to be the 6th 3 and out.
And you know what that was? Cover 0. Like, nobody watch. Teo's coming over to cover there. Teo Johnson, the safety. There's nobody back there, and they're just bringing the house. There is not a fear factor in the world for Morgan Scalley and these Utes. As now Mike Gundy's pokes are 3 of 13 on 3rd down.
And it's notable that they found more depth as well. That was Jonathan Hall getting through on that blitz for Utah. Pittman is going to let it bounce. Oh boy, that was nearly tragic for Utah. He stuck the hands out there, and it's the last thing you need. It's a 46-yard punt. This is mystifying for an Oklahoma State offense that scored 44, 39, and 45 in 3 wins. 5.
Yep.
Here's today's steady performance, sponsored by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. No apathy from Mekhi Bernard.
No, and I would love to see after this game how many of those 151, Jason, are after contact. Even the one that got out, the explosive one, right, that he took almost to the house. That was after breaking 3, 4, 5 tackles right there. On a day of grown-ups, he's been special.
He's the adult in the room. First down. It's another run, and it's all the way down to midfield for Dijon Stanley. We mentioned Bernard, 155 yards in the fourth quarter this year. That is third in the FBS, and that goes for to add on the rest of the running back room, which keeps everybody fresh.
Yep, I love it. Love it. Gives him a chance to continue to study and see what's going on. And when you've got 1 and 2 and 3 different guys that you can confidently rotate in. And I'll tell you this too, man. Isaac Wilson has shown these couple weeks you got a capable and competent backup behind Cam Rising as well.
Second down 5. Stanley changing direction, and down he goes. Nice play by Rucker, loss of 2.
If he does not make that tackle, this might be a house call, and this game is over. We have talked about him a ton of just being the eraser, of being the last line of defense. Look, there is nobody left. They are putting everybody at the line. It's now 11 tackles to go with a couple picks, a tackle for loss. Quite an afternoon from engine number 9.
What do you like on this play call?
Conservative. Take care of the ball. Do not give those crazies any life.
3rd and 7. Pressure coming. He got hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. That's Ezigbo again, who was on a mission.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass.
Just been a difference maker. The 6-year player as well, right here in the corner, taking on the redshirt freshman Lomu. Good set there by Lomu, but he just cannot hang with the speed to power of the transfer from Gannon University, Division II, 5 years of grinding there. And filling some big shoes of Oliver, but filling them pretty well this afternoon, and really last week too, Jason.
9:30 to go in this game. Bomeister on the punt. Freeman driven back. What a kick. That is beautiful. That's old school to the corner.
Like Reggie Roby caught the corner.
How old are you now?
Yeah, and all the Gen Zers are like, what? Why, what? Okay.
All right. Well, it looks as though Alan Bowman is going to be back at the levers.
Don't you love quarterback? Rangel comes into a chair. Bowman comes back in for a cheer. Gotta find some semblance of life.
I mean, how does this feel for Bowman?
Let it rip.
Ollie Gordon, left side. Immediately dropped by Johnson, and Gilman just cracked.
Teo Johnson has grown up. That receiver turned nickel, now just a ferocious safety for Morgan Scalley. Big time.
Tempo. Bowman scanning and throwing. It's for Gordon, and it's incomplete. That's down, skimming the ground, 3rd and 8.
And again, it's all in his feet. Those feet just don't get settled for Alan Bowman, man. And Ollie is frustrated, rightfully so. But plant your foot in the ground. Now you got to self-talk, Jason. How's it feel? Self-talk. Put my foot in the ground and throw the ball like I'm capable of. Watch the feet once again as he's moving. He is just totally out of whack, and the ball just dies because of it.
And he knows it. He told us those have to be catchable and runnable. 3rd down and 8. Bowman. Fillinger's coming. Bowman just got it off. It's tipped. Tipped and incomplete, and Morgan Scalley told his defensive line this week, with that quick release, you have to have your hands up.
I think I just saw Reggie White Oh my gosh. Watch this.
Yep, and then Tanuvasa.
That's a 300-pound man in glass that he just hip tosses to the ground. 4 3 and out of the last 5 drives.
There are currently no answers for Oklahoma State. Fair catch for Pittman. Utah will have it, as the Utes have for 36 minutes out of 51 in this game. They might take the ball and go home. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. The Utah Utes, since last year, have led the FBS in time of possession, and this is partially why Oklahoma State may take a loss for the first time at home against a ranked team. Usually in this stretch, they don't get pushed around in this building, and that's why that matters.
100%. I mean, my goodness, we've talked about this throughout. My goodness, 2 tough head coaches, teams that are totally emblematic of their head coaches in that way. But Mike would be the first to tell you, I mean, Utah just had their way. They have dominated us physically with what they've done defensively, and then they've run it for well over 200 yards at us. That's a formula for knocking off a top-ranked team in their building.
Yet, this game's not over.
Nope.
2-score game.
Your takeaway way. Like, you need to get a takeaway right here, and I promise you Mike Gundy's in the headset of his coordinator asking him for that. Turn it up.
Caldarella in motion. It's Bernard. Off the block from Caldarella, who's been so good in that spot. He's a basketball player in high school along with football, but they use him in motion, and he's basically a tight end.
Yeah, they've got 6 on paper. He's kind of a hybrid. He could be number 7. And for Bernard and company, it is so nice to run behind these guys that put their bodies on the line. How many times did we hear these coaches talk about no regard for his body, no regard for his body, no regard for his body? So many of them on this field this afternoon.
Utah will very smartly take the play clock down. Inside of 5. Off the motion again. It's Wilson this time. He gets to the outside, and at the fringe, he ends up out of bounds. hit by Kenneth Harris. It'll be 3rd down and short coming up.
And that was a designed QB run the entire way right there. Kyle Whittingham knows, man, Morgan Scalley's crew has been so good. Just find a couple first downs and finish this game out.
They could very easily hold the ball for 40 minutes this afternoon. They're at 37 plus right now. Third and 2, Utah. Bernard is dropped. Kendall Daniels with the stop, and you figure Kyle Whittingham's going to punt here.
That is a nice play by Kendall Daniels. He is locked up with one of these big old tight ends right here, and he just gets his hands, I believe it's on Carson Ryan, and just tosses him away, and they finally killed the motor.
The low, you mean? Yep.
Yeah, take the legs away. The legs are the motor. Take those legs away. No yards after contact there.
Utah's up 13, although the Utes are 3 for 15 on 3rd down. It's been 4 4th down conversions that have told the story so far. Baumeister drives it to Freeman, who lets it bounce, and that's a beaut. Calhoun gets down there to stonewall it, and Oklahoma State is going to have to go a long way. Last 5 possessions have one thing in common, Brock, for Oklahoma State.
Not good.
Yeah, it's that. It's one word.
It's 34 yards, I think, with my quick math. Yikes. For an offense that loves to be explosive, for an offense that loves to push the ball down the field and has seen some man concepts, but they just can't protect it and can't win.
Presley in the slot. Bowman goes topside. They're going to take a shot. They need a shot. And it's intercepted. Picked off down the sideline by Elijah Davis, who spiked the ball down. He goes by Scooby, and Utah is snacking on the road.
I mean, no clean releases, right? That was point number 1. Stay on top. And then just more speed. He's running the route. He's running the route for Stribling. You're throwing him a fade route. You think they worked on that a little bit this week?
Yes.
I know they did.
We talked about it in the first half, though. When you don't have the ball much as an offense, it condenses your window to get your plays in and make your strategic choices.
100%. And then when you are one-dimensional, because you are getting your tail whipped at the line of scrimmage, you get afternoons like this.
Which the Pac-12 has seen in its past with Utah, but the Utes have brought this version of keep away. Now Wilson off play action, wants a deep shot down the middle. Brant Kuithe will stroll in to the dismay of Cowboys everywhere. That was a statement to a new conference.
Did you say stroll in?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was Andy Ludwig finally saying enough's enough. All right, and all this little rugged stuff in the saloon and running ourselves into, we got one-on-one. Let's get our best player, Brant Kuithe, who's done it for a long time as one of the best tight ends in all of college football. Let's get him matched up and just take that last shot.
Micah Pittman flowing to the right, and he's intercepted. Picked off by Kobe Hilton. Back to the score, Brock.
Yeah, this was just a, we're going to max protect it. We're just going to look at all these big bodies up here. We are just going to max protect. We're going to release 2 guys. Isaac, get on back there, buy yourself a little time, and then just go throw a laser. Cale Smith, the corner, tries to undercut it there. And Keithy, the concentration. I must say they'll walk it in.
He's feeling good. He missed football.
And look at Mokafisi's tape. Look at, I love that guy. If I love Bernard, I also love Mokafisi. And those big guys kind of set the table for all that to happen for Mr. Keithy.
Hey, fan boy, you want some love, bitch?
They're having a good old time on the sideline. Keithy, a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in the game. This has been as much of tight end U as Iowa in recent years. Dalton Kincaid's been great. Cole Fotheringham as well. Keithy is back, and Freeman on the return. He does get to the outside, and Freeman is across the 40-yard line. Much needed special teams clearance for Oklahoma State. There's still time, but this offense has been an idol. It's thanks to the Utah defense, to be clear. First 3 games, about 43 points a game. Not today.
And this was a day where some of the focus, and you knew you had to be able to run it. Loaded box or not, you had to balance it out. And they've been unable to do any of it.
Bowman slings it to the wide side for Owens. So that was a 38-yard return on the kickoff. They had 39 total yards in the second half before that 8-yard gain. Second down. Bowman got it to Stribling. Now they're rolling. Made it 22.
A little bit of zone coverage, just trying to keep everything in front of them, and that kick return finally started to get the engine going a little bit.
Bowman launches down the middle. It's caught. It's Presley. It's a touchdown.
Presley's change of direction is so good. He just does not slow down when he makes that cut right there. And you're going to see Snowden, kind of like you saw Smith on the other side, the corner, try to undercut it and go for the pick. The problem when you do that and you don't stay on top, you get your hand on it, big plays follow.
44 seconds for that touchdown. They'll go for 2. To the end zone, it's Presley. Nice catch. 11-point game. They picked on Snowden again, and look, you never know in the Big 12. You just never know.
Nope. How long did that take?
It was 44 seconds. So here's the thing, Brock. This is the interesting part of realignment. Utah brings into this league the punch you in the mouth, run it down your throat offense. What they arrived to is a league that a decade ago became known for drive charts like this one.
Of just playing some of that basketball on grass, playing that just spray the ball down the field, and finally got to see a vertical element.
Well, he's horizontal.
I think Utah knows, like, maybe some of that talking, and I know the stands emptied out here, but 3 timeouts for Oklahoma State, a little bit of life and a little bit of juice. Stranger things have happened in this building before.
They'll go ahead and roll it on the way through. Money Parks takes a knee and takes a shot. That's going to be 15, you'd have to imagine.
I don't see a flag.
I don't either.
And it was a late kneel down. I think the officials are going to gather together here. But Money totally gave himself up here, Jason. Huh. The judgment there is that it was just so late that the defender couldn't stop.
Right.
That still surprises me, a no call.
For now, Oklahoma State has 3 timeouts to burn. Utah needs a handful of first downs. Mekhi Bernard hit by Ezigbo. Dean Blandino, what'd you see on that play?
I was surprised we didn't have a flag, clearly giving himself up. Now, again, at full speed, I think the officials felt the defender, the kicking team player, didn't have an opportunity to let up. But look, he's on a knee. That player has an opportunity to let up there. That should have been a flag.
Yeah. In the NFL, that's a fine for sure. I'll tell you that. Jason, it feels like this game has taken a long time, and there is still so much time on that clock.
Yes. Too much time for Utah. Oklahoma State burns the 1 timeout. The key is first downs for Utah.
100%.
A couple of them can really do a number. Moliai there, still in at right guard. Fake it to Bernard. Wilson on the roll. Incomplete. Nick Martin sped up his clock in a big way.
Yeah, he gets there in just a blink of an eye. He is just so fast. Once he decides to go, he knows what's coming. Here comes that naked, no help out there. And no need for a timeout. That incompletion now stops the clock.
Nick Martin, who told us that last year after the Kansas State game, he had a breakout. It felt like it showed him that he could do just about anything on a football field. 3rd and 9 for his defense. It's Bernard on the run. Bernard, first down.
Wow, Kendall Daniels is there. The linebacker is there. This is one of those one-on-one situations. I mean, a great call on 3rd and 9, but now you got to go finish. You got to go kill that motor, right? You got to go take those legs away, and he cannot. Bernard is just an absolute stud.
I will say, Brock, that might be a tackle that Kendall Daniels makes if he hasn't been on the field for about 38 minutes and change. We were talking off the top of the show about signs of fatigue or what the heat might do, because it is 100 degrees out today. I mean, everybody's feeling it.
Look at that shot of Bernard, man. Just absolutely emptying the tank.
You can't, I mean, it broke the thermometer. It's just south. It's just south is the temperature. That was Ezigbo who was down after the play. First down, Utah. Vincent on the run, and he goes down. Deshaun Brown with the stop. Timeout, Oklahoma State on a loss of 3. Time now for our Pacific Life game summary. Sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security from nearly 160 years.
Well, there was the Wildcat Keithy earlier, his 5th rushing touchdown of his career. Isaac Wilson showing some of just the dual threat nature. Bowman, a rough afternoon, one of the roughest as a Cowboy. At a critical interception. And then just the max protect 2-man route, and he ran one in. Let's find a way to get Keithy the ball deep down the field as well.
Combined, Brock, the Oklahoma State quarterbacks are 14 for 39. That's the big hit there. It's under 36%. Utah's pass defense has been brilliant all season long. That's Charlie Vincent, who's down, the former walk-on for the Utah Utes. A legacy in the program, his 6th season, a senior out of Salt Lake City's East High School. And if anybody typifies this program and what it means to have consistency, and what Andy Ludwig, the offensive coordinator, said to us about his head coach, Kyle Whittingham, the meetings, if you open the notebook from 2007, say, compared to now, it'd be a lot of the same discussion points. And that's not to say that they haven't progressed. They have. But the level of consistency of the message is top flight.
Well, I mean, look at it. How many of those guys are there? Cam Rising's one of them. Keithy is one of them. Vincent is one of them. Bernard is one of them. And you start stacking all of them, one of them's together, I mean, you have a chance for a special season if they all stay healthy.
And even if not, we saw Cam Rising. He's not been healthy. They, at the beginning of the year in the first game, lost their senior defensive back, Keenan Johnson. The time of possession is the full story here. So Oklahoma State did not have to use the timeout because of the injury to Vincent. The clock is moving, and it's 2nd down and 13. That is a bust. There's a marker down as well, and a quarterback down too.
Oh, that's a bad feeling. I think Isaac went the wrong way. Based on all the linemen and Bernard, that is a sinking feeling.
What's the first thing you think when that happens?
Want to get away?
I didn't know analysts could get on NIL deals too.
Take the penalty? Come on, Mike. Take the penalty or not?
I'd say no. Probably not, right?
Just get to 3rd down.
Yeah. It's a fun game of charades in the triple-digit heat.
Illegal formation, more than 4 players in the backfield offense. That penalty's declined. Result of play, it's 3rd down.
I'm reading lips here. Kyle Whittingham said, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, if I'm doing it properly. We'll see what the play call is. Coming up after the game, stay tuned for College Football Extra, sponsored by Defender.
He's saying run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and Mike Gundy is saying tackle, please. Tackle, tackle, tackle.
You'd like a turnover, but you might as well just get the stop here, right? 3rd and 14. Bernard is down. Hyman Oates with the stop. There will be the 2nd timeout for Oklahoma State, and this is still a game, Brock.
Yep. Yeah, and kind of like that kickoff return gave that offense some juice. This is a pretty big punt and punt return. We have seen Bouwmeester do some awesome things with the football earlier, and guys still talking. Rucker's still talking. He's not tired.
Down after the play here. The officials are talking. Yeah, there is a marker down. It came very late.
Well, Rucker was right into the lap of Carson Ryan. And we have seen these officials play. I mean, they have let these guys play, but I think this is going to be on Money Parks from the sidelines saying something.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct number 10 of the offense. The down count. It'll be a 15-yard penalty and 4th down.
Yeah, you can see it right here. Here's Money Parks, and he says a little something. He doesn't like
that is number 10.
Carson Ryan and Trey Rucker are getting into it, but they let these guys get into it all day long. And Money Parks said something there to the official that official did not like.
The official was going to let it go.
Yes.
Then Money Parks must have said something else because the official looked over his shoulder and then immediately, as if to say, what did you say?
That's right.
Threw the flag.
And Utah, who has been in such utter control of this game for most of it, is just losing a little composure here.
It's just the 2nd penalty against the Utes all day.
And look at the difference of where Bouwmeester is going to punt this ball nearly at his goal line now for Kyle Whittingham, and he can't believe it.
This is how quickly things have changed in the Oklahoma State season, though, and I go back to what Alan Bowman said to us about coming back here. He said all these guys came back, and we have such a knowledge of each other. We went down 14 against Arkansas. I was like, just chip away. Chip away. And that last drive, under a minute for a touchdown, is chip away to a T. Freeman back to receive. He waved for the fair catch and a boomer
What a
from
punt.
Bouwmeester. Now remember, there's the personal foul on that play, but on the kickoff, there was not the flag. And so if you're a Utah fan, you might be frustrated, but you have no choice but to move on. 3:16 to go. Alan Bowman, who if Mike Gundy was trying to teach some sort of a lesson, he's got a chance against a very good coordinator in Morgan Scalley.
Yeah, in that last series, Morgan Scalley just rushed forward, let Alan Bowman set his feet a little bit, get comfortable. My gut and my hunch is you're not going to see that same scheme. You're going to see them try to get to that quarterback and make him unsettled.
Fillinger comes after him and got him. Backside pressure eventually after Bowman turned his body, and Van Fillinger, the sack leader on this team, got there again.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That is the first time Bowman has been sacked all season long, and of course it would come from the Big 12's best sacker.
He had been hit 3 times all year. Presley is rocked by Teo Johnson, and here comes a marker. Now let's see if they call it targeting. That is a flag that could be picked up if in fact it wasn't.
Yeah, this is going to be close on a couple different levels. Did Presley go from receiver, right, and protected player, defenseless player, to a runner in that situation, which changes the targeting dynamics? And exactly where did that contact occur?
If he became a runner, it would have to be crown of the helmet targeting.
Personal foul, targeting, number 15, defense. Previous play is under further review.
To be clear, he did not say personal foul with targeting. He said personal foul targeting. If this penalty is picked up, it will not be a penalty at all.
Catch, tucks, becomes a runner. The distinction there, so that is not crown. The only distinction is he's still defenseless, because if he's defenseless, well, that's forcible contact to the head or neck area.
Dean, how do you figure this?
The key here is the player getting hit defenseless, or has he transitioned to a runner? I really do see him transitioning to a runner where he has the ability to protect himself. If that's the case, then there has to be crown contact for it to be targeting. There is no crown contact. Now, if they determine him defenseless, then that contact to the head neck area is targeting. Again, I see him turn upfield, but that's slow motion. At full speed, the official has to make that call, and they did determine him defenseless. Replay's going to have to make that decision.
Hey, Dean, what triggers do you look for there? Is that transition from defenseless to a runner? Is it the tuck of the football and the head up?
You're looking for, yeah, the tuck. Is he taking additional steps? Is there a stiff arm? Is there the ability to make a move? That's going to be the key here in this decision.
That's really tough. As you look at it in the booth, Dean, if you're a replay official, you can use slow motion though, right? Like, how much do you use the slow motion here?
You're going to look at slow motion for the contact. Was it with the crown? Was it with another part of the helmet? For defenseless, you really want to look at that at full speed and ask yourself the question, does that player have the time to protect themselves?
That's a good question.
Yep.
It's not just, hey, what's his status? Did he protect himself? That's the spirit of the rule. Thank you, Dean.
After a review, it was determined that it was a completed pass and the receiver was not defenseless by rule. Therefore, the contact to the helmet was to the side and was not the crown. It is not a foul for targeting. The ball is placed at the 32-yard line. It's third down.
So that's exactly it. You can pick it up. There's no first down here. Well explained by Vandeveld.
Yeah, and here's real speed, full speed. And you totally understand why that back judge throws the flag. You understand that in real time, and I totally agree with that call. That was a instantaneous hit. Presley had a chance to convert by tucking the football and the eyes up in a big 3rd and 10.
So Presley is out of the game for the moment. 3rd down, orbit motion from Freeman into a screen for Gordon. Ollie Gordon does have the first down for Oklahoma State.
By any means necessary, whatever way you can get zero the ball, actually going downhill in a hurry, advantage Oklahoma State, one of the rare 3rd down conversions.
That clever design, though, is how they started this game, Oklahoma State, and then got pulled out of it by 3 and out after 3 and out. First down for Bowman. That's tipped and caught anyway by Gavin Freeman. Oh, we've seen some wild stuff in this stadium over the years.
Look at Lander gets his hand just on it. 23, and once again a punishing hit by Hall to finish it.
2-minute timeout is coming. Fillinger working hard to get there. Bowman moves his feet, got it to Gordon. Ollie Gordon in space with a hurdle, and down he goes. He was undercut by Cameron Calhoun, and there is the 2-minute timeout. 1 timeout for Oklahoma State. The Cowboys are riding. We'll see if they can get to the finish line here.
The 2-minute timeout.
Fox College Football is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Last time Utah beat a top 15 team on the road, 2018. They beat Stanford. Zach Moss, 160 and 2 touchdowns. Stanford had just 42 yards on the ground. And this defense has been salty all day for Utah. Can they get another stop, though? Oklahoma State ball, 2nd and 1. It's a run. Ollie Gordon steps out of a tackle. He's inside the 10, 1st and goal, and this is exactly what the Cowboys wanted.
Man, that is, for a Polk fan, a sight to see. Not many of those creases this season.
1st and goal. Bowman. End zone. High pointed and caught. Touchdown, Rashad Owens. 1:47 to go. We have a game.
Wow. Yeah, and Bowman got hit. I think Jonathan Hall came in and absolutely delivered one of these shots that we've seen all day long. There are going to be some sore boys tomorrow on both sides.
In that drive, Brock, Oklahoma State protected its final timeout.
Yep.
To make it a 3-point game. Gordon in motion next to Bowman. He wants it to Gordon, and he is knocked down. Teo Johnson will be flagged for pass interference.
Pass interference, number 15, defense. That penalty when being forced half the distance to the goal. We'll replay the try.
Pretty obvious here. A nice little concept. We saw a screen earlier, and here you're getting Ollie just out of the backfield. And if you're Teo on your beat, right, is really a yard and a half that big of a deal? Not really. What's significant here too, Jason, the difference between needing just a field goal from a real estate standpoint and a touchdown, enormous.
To make it a 3-point game. To Presley. It's 2. Simba Cam from Wilson. 22-19.
Well, Morgan Scalley tried to crank up the pressure there a little bit on Bowman. He's going to bring Hall, the linebacker, right in his face. It's why the throw was a little high. Bowman's not been hit much this season. That one stung a little bit, knocked a little air out of those lungs. But he will gladly take that touchdown for that hit.
I wonder if you got a chance to look on the way in at the back of our credentials or maybe the ticket stubs of somebody here, because the re-entry policy might come into play for the people who left. This is suddenly a 3-point game. It is a much thinner crowd, but the folks who went home, if they can get back in and talk their way in like this team has talked its way back into this game, it might be a good idea.
Yeah, and like Presley fought himself to get back on the field like so many of these guys have. Put absolutely Vaughn on skates on that 2-point conversion.
Onside here?
Absolutely.
Logan Ward to kick it away. Coming near side, and that's Utah with Nate Ritchie on top of it. 1 timeout left for Oklahoma State.
I think the problem there is all the pellets melted in the 150-degree heat. So,
it's just soup now.
So there was no chance to get that extra bounce. And yet another veteran player in Ritchie secured it.
Oklahoma State can get the ball back, but not with much time at all. 1 first down does it on a scorching day in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Secure the snap, 2 hands on the ball. You hand it off quarterback, go follow that running back. And stay on the ground as long as you can as a runner to eat every single second possible. I love his eyes, man. They just tell so much of the story.
What do you see in those?
I see such a young guy that is in an amazing environment.
It's a run. Bernard staggering and driving the legs and still going, keeping that clock moving. They churn off 6 seconds to the final timeout for Oklahoma State. The Utah Utes, number 12 right now. They would be in the college football playoff. These aren't CFP rankings so far this year. Those will come later in the season. But 12 is where you want to be. This schedule is an interesting one. Home against Iowa State could be enormous. And that rivalry with BYU that is now a conference game could loom very large the second week in November.
Well, you just know this when you run, and Kyle said it to us earlier this week, like when we run for 200 yards, 5 yards a carry, we win. Like if we're able to do that and just impose our will on our opponent, play that complementary winning ball, it doesn't matter if it's in Salt Lake and Tempe and Tucson, no matter where it is. And some of these new destinations for him in the Big 12, that kind of game travels.
All over the place, from the Rocky Mountain Conference to the Big 7 to the Skyline to the WAC to the Mountain West to the Pac-12.
Skyline?
Yeah.
Unfamiliar with that one, but I'll take your word for it.
Get a book. But Utah, I mean, 3 times in their first year in a new league, won the league or tied for the league lead. And that wasn't all under Kyle Whittingham, but it's an established program with an identity, and they've brought it here to success so far. We'll see if it sticks. 2nd and 6. The motion from Pittman. Bernard. Hesitation, and he's wrapped up by Colin Clay. It'll be 3rd down and a couple yards. Call it 3rd and 3. Utah By the end of this game, we'll have run more than 80 plays to 59 from Oklahoma State. What's left in the tank for the Cowboy defense?
You are totally and completely going to sell out with everybody at the line of scrimmage. You're not going to see a Philadelphia Eagles pass right here. You're going to see a run and take every second possible.
Maybe a timeout before they even run a play. They've got 3 remaining. The drumbeat continues at field level.
Their first charge timeout of the second half. 30 seconds in length.
A first down sinks Oklahoma State's attempt at an undefeated season. Cowboys have another big one coming up next week in Manhattan, Kansas at K-State.
Yeah, and the challenge with a game like today, and Mike Gundy knows this, is with the level of exertion and how much his guys had to expend, especially defensively, the violence all over the place. You better heal up in a hurry. And oh, by the way, then you got to travel to K-State and play again. Some guys that love to battle at the line of scrimmage.
That's a full toughness game next week again.
Yep.
You're right. Would you think about throwing this ever? If they're going to sell out. Don't look at me like that.
I appreciate you asking the question, but no. Even Nick Sirianni right now is like, run the ball. Just run the ball.
I know you don't think they'll go Eagles here.
Run the ball.
Okay. Bernard, first down. Utah will win.
For a first down. Number 2, Bernard.
Jason, who's one of my favorite players for Utah when I send you tape?
Mo Kafisi.
Mo Kafisi's been in and out of the lineup today. He's been banged up. There's Fano. He loves it. He's a big right tackle with the push. But those, I'm not even calling big uglies because they were beautiful today, man. They dominated the line of scrimmage, and they finished this game in style. Moments of toughness from beginning to end.
80 plays before the kneel down.